Hey guys, it's Jamie back with Compressor Source. We're gonna take a few minutes and do a quick educational video. We get a lot of people that call in or email us and they ask questions on what air hose is best for their application. There's so many different ones, such a wide price range of air hoses. People just aren't sure really what the difference is and what they need for their application. So hopefully this video helps you figure that out. In front of me, I have a few different brands of air hoses. We sell different materials, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about them. On my right-hand side, we're going to start off with these two air hoses. One is made by Prevost, one is made by FlexZilla. These are the newest type of air hoses to the market. They have been around for a few years, but they're hybrid polymer air hoses. So as far as from a flexibility standpoint, they are the most flexible air hose on the market. They really have like a limp noodle kind of mentality. Super easy to work with if you're using nail guns or using a paint sprayer. They're not working against you. They literally stay flexible in all weather applications. So whether it's negative 32 degrees out or over 100 degrees, it's gonna stay flexible. So let's start with the Prevost. The Prevost is an Italian-made product. It is the hybrid polymer, but they're known for their couplers. So all the Prevost air hose is going to come with the couplers. These are an easy push button style coupler. We've done a video on them before to kind of tell a little bit about them. But if you're interested in that, feel free to ask us any questions. But on the hose, this hose is great for everything, like I said. The only downfall about hybrid polymer air hoses is they do not withstand heat very well. And when I mean heat, I don't mean like hot weather. I mean like flames or anything of that nature. So if you're using a plasma cutter or a torch or something of that nature, it's probably not gonna be the best hose, because if you get that next to it, it's literally gonna melt like that. FlexZilla, this is probably the most well-known hybrid polymer air hose on the market. They're really the ones that originated it. This is a USA made air hose. A lot of people have concerns about this hose because the end's black. It looks like plastic, but it is not plastic. It's an aircraft aluminum. They do withstand a lot of abuse. They also make field repairable ends. So if you would break this end or you'd shoot a nail through the hose, you can buy the field repairable end and literally change it out and go on with your job, so you're not stuck with a non-working air hose, and you can get the job done that you need to. These come in a wide range of lengths. I know the Prevost comes in 25s, 50s, and 100. Same with the FlexZilla. I think there might be a couple different lengths depending on what size of air hose you need. They do make hose whips, but if you're not wanting the couplers with it, obviously this is going to be the better choice. But I will tell you, these couplers that Prevost makes are amazing. Once you've used them, they are expensive, but you would never go back to anything else. Make your life very simple. We'll move on to your standard rubber air hose. I think a lot of people are familiar with this. There is, though, different qualities these days just because of the wide range of places that rubber air hose is made, different things they do to try to cheapen it up. But if you get a name brand rubber air hose like Goodyear or Tecton, something of that nature, it's good for all applications. Like you know what you're getting. You know what to expect. It's the heaviest of all hoses, but it's going to be good in a lot of tough applications. It's going to be more oil resistant than some of these other hybrid hoses. Just depends on what you're doing, but if you're in a really harsh environment, rubber air hose is typically always the best, but it's not going to have any really strengths or specialties as far as any environments go. So if you're looking for an all-around best price point, just good air hose, rubbers probably still owns that market. In front of me, you're going to see a polyurethane air hose. So this has been out for quite a while. I would say over 15 years, something of that sort. But polyurethane is going to be typically a clear air hose or somewhat translucent, come in many different colors. The one that I have here is FlexZilla. It's a very popular one for us. So these come with field repairable ends. These are brass field repairable ends. So if you'd shoot a nail through this hose or something would happen, you literally unscrew these two pieces, cut the hose, put the end back on, and you're good to go. The benefits of polyurethane is it's very light. It's probably the lightest air hose out of anything. It is very pliable, easy to work with in in cold weather. It does not stiffen up. The downfall is if you're a roofer or something of that nature and it's laying outside on a hot summer day and you use it for a few days, it's great from there on out. But right out of the coil, so if you were just take this out, it has a little bit of memory until you've used it for a while. Once you've used it for a while, it is an amazing air hose. It's actually probably one of my favorites. It just takes a little bit of use before it really, lays out and does its thing. But also very good when you're spray painting. It's very flexible in that type of thing. One other thing about it is versus the hybrid polymer, this has a very tough outer jacket. So if you're a farmer and you're working in a cornfield or something, some of these hoses over time will cut and get abrasions on them. This holds up very well. It's very strong, and a lot of people like it for that type of application. There again, since it's a hybrid material, there's going to be some chemicals and things that it doesn't hold up to, like your rubber air hose and that type of stuff. This is something that we don't really sell too much of. This is literally just here for an example. But if you go to a hardware store, something like that, you're gonna see cheap air hoses, 3/8, 50 foot, $14.99, $19.99, that type of thing. That is typically always going to have a shiny outer coating, be like a blue, a bright orange, a yellow, a red, something like that. And these hoses are made of PVC. PVC, it's durable. It will hold up, but when it gets cold outside, it's literally going to turn into a rock and you're not going to be able to coil it up. You're not going to be able to do anything with it. It's terrible to work with. It's just going to leave you angry every time you have to use it. And so when you see a shiny air hose like this, that has this, just smooth outer texture, you're going to want to look and see what it's made out of, because if it's PVC, you're more than likely you're not going to be happy. But it is cheap, and so if you're looking at just whatever's cheapest, that's probably going to be your go-to option is PVC air hose. They do sometimes name it a few different things because some people do know that and to get away with it, but it's not my favorite air hose by any means. Last but not least is coiled air hoses, and we have a few more than what I have here. This is just kind of the two different kinds that you're going to see the most of in the widest range of pricing. So this is PVC coil hose. Everybody's familiar with this. If you've seen it, a coil hose, more than likely it's been one of these. This is really, really hard plastic. It is the PVC type material. When it gets old, it gets hard, it gets brittle, and it'll just start to crack. It'll explode at most points at some point in time. It is cheap, but it just doesn't hold up. But for a long time, this was the only option in coil hoses. But you're talking, on something like this, probably less than 10 bucks, depending on where you're getting it. This is a polyurethane coil hose, which is literally the most expensive, best quality coil hose you can get on the market. This is a hose we carry. This is 3/8 by 25 foot. We have 1/4 by 25 foot. You can get 50 foot lengths. If you don't see something on our website or a certain color you want, we can special order it. But this is a coil hose that is going to last you forever. Not only does it have a swivel field repairable end, you're not likely on a coil hose typically to shoot a nail through the end because you're constantly pulling against that slack. But if something would happen to the hose, you can fix it on site. But this again is polyurethane like this, so it's going to be clear or translucent. Very, very durable, very, very flexible. But holds up for many years. So it is, if you're looking for something that you're using every day or you want something to last a very long time, When it comes to coil hose, polyurethane is absolutely the way to go. Hopefully this video has answered a few quick questions and you've enjoyed watching it. You can now make an educated decision on what hose you might think would work best for you. Again, this is probably the most flexible in all weather applications right off the bat. It has that limp noodle kind of mentality. You know, this is also extremely flexible, just as flexible probably, I would say, in most applications, but it does take a while to get broken in. If it's hot outside, it's gonna do that quicker. It just has a little bit of coil memory when it's first wound up. Not too bad. I'm being honest, it does have a little bit. The rubber air hose is then good for every application. You know what you're getting. You're always gonna be happy with it. If that's what you've been using for years, you're never gonna be disappointed. And then we talked about the coil hoses and then the PVC. Just remember, if you wanna be happy with an air hose and you're gonna be using it a lot, PVC is not the way to go in my opinion. But again, that's my opinion. If you've had an air hose and you're in an area where it does get cold outside, I'm sure you're gonna know what I'm talking about. Thanks again for watching this video. We will do more of these with different types of products like we have done before in the past. If you have any questions, reach out to us on our website at compressorsource.com. That's www.compressor-source.com, or give us a call at 1-888-396-8676. Thank you for watching this video, and we'll see you next time.